In the mid-70s, an American keyboardist-vocalist left a British hard rock band, a British rootsy hard rock band, to put out a rather futuristic album built primarily on synthesizers. And in 1977, he released his second solo album, or his second album after leaving the band that he was in, to explore that futuristic direction even more. I am talking about Gary Wright, and from his 1977 album, The Light of Smiles, the track Child of Light. Got that real shiny, glistening sound, just kind of like coming in like an envelope, almost like going like in waves, like playing one sustained note all the way through. Now we've got three layers of synthesizers right here. We've got that thing that I just described. We've also got that kind of like flute-like synthesizer laying notes over it. And now we've got this other thing coming in. And it all just subsided. Now we've got this more kind of like entrance, this grand piano thing going on. A trademark of a lot of Gary Wright's material is this like rhythmless open cadence passages that have this whole like threshold aura, like standing on the threshold of like a promised land or something.
He came out from nowhere like the first star at night, and the world went on like it never saw you come.
And where are we going so far? You came out from nowhere like the first star at night, and the world went on like it never saw you come. Huh. He's seen something that not many other people have seen.
You felt something, and your father wasn't there, but she raised you best she could for a poor man's son.
Your mother felt something and your father wasn't there, but she raised you best she could for a poor man's son.
Shame she never realized the light in your eyes. You're a child of light. Being born into a world that lives in darkness.
Shame she never realized the light in your eyes. You're a child of light. You were born into a world that lives in darkness.
You're a child of light, and you wear the thorn being born a man.
You're a child of light, and you wear the thorn any more than man.
As you grow old and wiser, you keep more to yourself. And when you are aware your body glows, people look to you as you're walking through the night. They're hoping you might be the Holy Ghost.
Well, this is a special person. As you grow old and wiser, you keep more to yourself, and when you are aware, your body glows. Keep a look to here as you're walking through the night. They're hoping you might be the Holy Ghost.
Will they ever understand the light in your eyes? You're a child of light. Being born into a world that lives in darkness. You're
I'm still trying to picture really. Is this character supposed to be like a divinity, like a human, like one of the chosen people?
a child of light. And you're where the born, being born a man.
I don't know for sure, but I think I read somewhere that Gary Wright at the time was practicing some of the those human betterment type movements. That he, I don't know, may have tried some of them out at the time. The kind of new spiritualism of the 70s, which probably inspired these lyrics. That is quite an intricate piece of music right there. You got that piano figure, and then that synth like build up that just emerges right out of it, and the well paced like symphonic drumming. This really is musically. This almost is like a classical piece, just with rock instrumentation.
Will they ever understand the light in your eyes? You're a child of light. Being born into a world that lives in darkness.
Yeah, reading lyrics like this about like a child divine. It's knowing what I know now about some of those cult movements of the 70s, those new religions, like that as sex. The conclusion that historians have drawn from it is that in the 60s, boomers turned to sex, drugs, and rock and roll for escape. But it turned out that just didn't quite fulfill all the needs of the human conscience. And so in the 70s, they were turning to new religious movements. And there were some there was a dark side to all that, let's say.
You're a child of light, and you wear the form, being born a man. Child of light.
You're a child of light, and you wear the thorn any more than man. Huh. That line somewhat confuses me. Maybe someone who's just more read up on biblical verses might recognize some reference points in these lyrics that I'm missing here.
Child of light.
Yeah, I really love the way that chorus just flares right out, kind of like into open space with that those sustained notes that he sings.
Can't you see, child of light, that the world needs you tonight?
Can't you see, child of light, that the world needs you tonight? Oh, hear those beautiful fade outs of those synthesizers. Yeah, a great song that has so many points of interest to it. From the way, like, the structure of, like, how the piano and how the synthesizers layer, and then how that piano figure comes out, and how the synths just kind of erupt out from it and kind of take things into that grandiose entrance into the verses, and then the way and you've got that like kind of like standing at the threshold feel of like the verses, like where it's like in C major with like those sustained notes and all that, and kind of like beaming rays of light, the tones of some of those synthesizers, and then like it just flares out into that chorus, and the emphasis he puts on like lines like the light, well, the title, when he sings the light in your eyes. Instrumentally, I think there's quite a few hands on this one. David Foster is on this. Well, let's say, first of all, there are a lot of keyboards being played on this. Gary Wright himself plays electric piano, Fender Rhodes, Clavinet. I don't believe I heard that on this. That's like another track. Synthesizer, Oberheim, solos and effects. Synthesizer, Moog, bass solos and effects. Synthesizer, ARP. Discogs has this kind of redundant thing where they will like list synthesizer several different times, and then like in brackets they'll put the type of synthesizer. It's let's see. David Foster plays piano on the album overall, clavinet, organ, synthesizer, Oberheim, and ARP. They're not specifying who played on which. And then one Peter Rylick also plays, well, the same assortment of keyboards that I just read off. Backing vocals, Bettye Sweet, David Pomeranz, Gary Wright, Lorna Wright. Drums, percussions, Art Wood. Oh, that's interesting. Huh, what had he been doing in the 70s? That's Ron Wood's older brother, I believe. Yeah, same. Oh, it looks like he was working more like on the American scene. Oh, he was on that 1976 Peter Ivers album that Gary Wright produced. Interesting. Yeah, Art Wood, the older brother of Ron Wood. The two of them were in a band called. No, they were not in a band together. No, Ron Wood was in an English band called the Birds. Art Wood was in a band called the Art Woods. With Keith Hartley. Huh, why would him and Keith Hartley be in a band together? I have to go. I think he was the oh, wait a minute. No, two different guys. I thought that was funny how Art Wood would end up in this really Americanized environment. Nah. Scratch that. Different guy. I was thinking that couldn't be right. Art Wood was like the vocalist in the Art Woods. Keith Hartley was the drummer. Why would two drummers need to be in the same band? And who else? That seems to be it as far as musicians. I'm surprised. Jim Keltner, the ubiquitous. It seems to be like about three guys playing lots and lots of keyboards and synthesizers on this album, and then a couple of drummers and then a few backup vocalists. The list of credits looks pretty long, but the ones who are actually playing the music is pretty small when you cut it down. Anyway, album title inspired by Paramahansa Yogananda's Metaphysical Meditations. The sounds on this album were produced entirely by keyboard instruments with the exception of drums, percussion, and strings. Jim Keltner and David Foster, when they were in Attitudes. Anyway, for more rubies and sapphires from some of Gary Wright's solo albums, see the directory of albums by English pop, rock, West Coast AOR, and Blue Eyed Soul acts, linked in the description below, or to see the Rubies and Sapphires off the Spooky Tooth albums, a band that he was in off and on between 1968 and 1974. See the directory of albums by English S artists. I'll put that in the links too. And follow me on social media to know when the next video comes out. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear travel trend maximalist, signing off.